Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 137 of the All In Football Fantasy Premier League show and podcast. I'm your host, the self-proclaimed FPL guru, Alex Rex, and joining me today are my usual suspects of the differential king, Barry Stokes, and the voice of the people, and FPL's greatest player, of course, this season, Scott Williams. Barry, where in the world are you today?
Well, I'm not in a lay-by, put it that way. I'm actually in Newquay, sunning it up, seeing some customers. That's what I say. Yeah, so enjoying life, to be honest, mate. Can't grumble.
Good, lovely. You might, if you stay outside long enough, you might get a tiny tan, but I'm not too
Oh
sure.
no, no, no. I'm feeling the burn now, mate. I might disintegrate.
For anyone who doesn't know, Barry needs factor 100. Otherwise, there will be issues. Scott, you've grown a beard. You look great. How are you?
Growing a beard. I hadn't shaved my beard off for about 20 years, but yeah.
No, it just looks thicker. I think today. I think it's
Put mascara on it.
has he
Yeah, I
dyed it?
think
Have you
I've just
dyed it? Is that it?
it's going blonde in the sun, I think, yeah. No, need to trim on Friday before I go have some food. So yeah. Not bad, mate, not bad. Yeah, yeah, taking over.
You get that? Very lovely. Very nice. Well, thanks ever so much to everyone for joining us today on these lovely sunny days. Um, yeah, if you listen to us in the garden with a nice beer, and if you don't drink, of course, then hope you're still listening with a non-alcoholic beer, of course. Got to appease everyone on the podcast these
No,
days.
you want. We don't want people that don't drink liquors.
Yeah,
I'm only kidding. Bit of teetotalness is all good for you as well, isn't it?
absolutely, but not when it's sunny. It just makes you sadder. Anyway, so thanks so much for joining us today.
Quick question, Alex.
Go on.
Best non-alcoholic beer.
Beer or I mean, because I mean, the boring Guinness Zero is the best non-alcoholic like beer.
I
So
quite like a Peroni non-alcoholic.
that's what I want to had. It's just the beers for me have got to be really, really, really cold. I don't, you know what I don't mind? A Stella one when it's really cold. It's actually not. It's not too bad. Um,
I
I am
just don't see
partial.
the point.
All right, Sandeep. Didn't realise you were here. Um,
Baz looks like he's burning through the window, by the
I am, yeah.
way.
By the end of the, it would just be dust and smoke. By the end
close
of
the
the pod, I might have to
close
close the curtains.
Close the curtains, mate, and get yourself a an actual beer. But yes, thanks so much for everyone for joining us today. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and also give us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast from, and follow us on our Instagram, TikTok, All In Football Pod, All In Football P and X, and also the FPL Affairs Facebook group. Right, let's get started with. We have got one game left of this week, but we have a new leader of the mini league, and he is currently the manager of the week, and his name is Gavin Webb. And Gavin has been around for quite a while on the podcast and in the podcast league, and he's a very, very experienced man. And he is currently 7 points clear of last year's winner, Ali Farrell. The league has taken a turn. FPL Hardcores, everyone's least favourite team, they are in third with 2,344. Knocked out Matt Gillette this week of the Cup, who is also part of FPL Hardcore, isn't he? Absolutely brutal. Knocked himself out. And Kieran Ball with Crystal Balls and Sam Danby Bailey are fourth and fifth. Sam, having used his free hit last week, has really paid the price this week because free hits have scored heavily. So, covering off the top five is 21 points. Very, very close going into the last few game weeks of the season. And I'm going to close that door because otherwise my kids are definitely going and pretend that they want care about the podcast. But yeah, very close. 105 points for Gavin Webb. He has knocked out Phil Hallam, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Of the cup, and didn't Phil get the second or third? Sorry, the third highest score of the week behind Jack
He
Alcroft.
did, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's pretty.
imagine was it 100? What did he get, Baz?
I think he got 103 or something like that, or
Phil
somewhere
Hallam,
like that. Yeah,
100.
100.
Imagine getting 100 points and getting knocked out the cup. I mean, I'm annoyed about getting knocked out the cup unless Mbumo delivers for me still. I still could stay
He's
in.
still got a chance, whereas Phil hasn't, unfortunately. He's out, but at least he's doing well in differential five sides. So at least
Yes.
he's got something that he's clinging on to.
It paid off for everyone. I'll be honest, right? And it's going to be. I know Scott agrees with me on this one already because of the moan about Jose Sarr. I just think it was a bad move putting Jose Sarr in goal. Like, especially with the blood clot situation and this, that, and the other. And they were playing the worst team. I'd be doubling up on their attack all day long rather than their defence. And if I was doubling up on the defence, I probably wouldn't have gone the goalkeeper. I thought might be dropped because he was obviously potentially unwell. I just felt it was like a move that I would never have ever done, but it's
Yeah,
paid off with 12 points.
it was a gamble. I picked him on the differential, didn't I? And I was like, "Oh, I'll gamble that he's going to be playing," and obviously it's paid off. So,
It was a
yeah,
gamble. I think the people who got it were very lucky personally, and that's I think that's where the luck really pays off. But fair play, you've gone for that gamble. The other thing I will say for Gav was the Bruggen as your backup. I just think in terms of goalkeepers, hey, listen, he's top of the league and he's done this for years. Fair play to you, Gav. Fair play. You've called it with Sarr. But yeah, I wouldn't have gone for Bruggen as my backup personally, but there you go.
I think because he's picked three over Fulham, or he probably would be Leno all day long, wouldn't it?
Yeah, potentially has gone three Fulham, three Liverpool, three Newcastle. Yeah, just yeah,
Could have
scary.
been Sanchez at Chelsea.
I think Sanchez at Chelsea is exactly who I'd have put as the backup. Baz, yeah, he's spot on. That's exactly who I would have expected to see there. And I know that one paid off for Scott this week, which is good at least. But hey, well, they got more points than Leno and Kepa. So um,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm all I'm yeah. Whatever.
the problem you've had is the only person you cared about whose team was they had Sarr. That's
Yeah,
the
honestly, I messaged him, Jack Alcroft, and told him to do the lottery because my God, he's channeling is in a Toy Story movie, just singing "You've Got a Friend in Me" all bloody day because Star run like God. Oh, Sessignon, oh, your clean sheet's gone. I'll just pop up with like a 90th minute winner. And then just stupid ones as well. And then, oh, I've just had all my points on my bench. And
it,
whatever, Jack. Well done.
that
Enjoy
says
it.
the
Hope you
Sessegnon 11.
appreciate it.
The Sessegnon 11 is brutal because that goal wasn't 6 points. That goal was 9 points
Yeah.
because it was all the bonus that came with it as well. Like it was, yeah. That's that obviously that and the Matoma goal of potent in the last couple of minutes, as well as the Hoyland goal, which is hilarious because I've got Kirkez, and I'm a United fan, and I was so annoyed about my own team scoring to get a point in the last minute. 'Cause it just doesn't matter to us in the league, like. And a very debatable red card for Evan Nilsson as well, to be honest. I think it's, I mean, don't get me wrong, in the context of the league this season, it's a red card because they seem to be given, but there is just it. He has slipped over, and it just feels a bit brutal. But anyway, whatever. Eight Nuri, Trent, Sessegnon, Trippier. So a lot of 4-3-3s this week terms of formations actually as well, and a couple of 4-4-2s as well. A lot of four at the backs. There seem to be some really good options in defence this week, so people went for it. Murphy, Luis Diaz, and Mo Salah, Isak, Raul Jimenez, and Cunha. We were debating the Raul thing. We all went against it, and that was definitely a fixture thing over form, wasn't it? He's been picked there. But yeah, Mbumo, Iwobi, and Kukurea on the bench. So well done to you, Gav, and also with 105, Jack with 104. So yeah, interesting week, but the free hit this week absolutely paid off. We thought it was the right decision beforehand, and then Captain Hindsights are going to kick in as well here and go. It absolutely was. So, but yeah, we did think about it before. One game left of this month, Baz, but you are 17 points clear of me, manager of the month. I need Mbumo to get 18 points to become manager of the month.
It'll get you through in the cup as well, won't it? So,
It would. I'll only need 9 from him to get through in the cup.
so don't be greedy.
So I'll take that now. I'll take the 9. 18's fine. You have manager of the month. I'll just take my 9 points, please. Yeah. So your top 405, great month for you, Baz. Me in second, 388. Yeah, great month again for me. Utsav Dwangana with 383. Matt Gillette, even though he gets knocked out the cup, and fourth with 373. And then, yeah, Gavin Webb there and 370. Um, yeah, it played. I've had a chip active every single week this month, and I think it's really shown, hasn't it? And you've been similar?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think I have, to be honest. Apart from Don't know. I know I've used two. Triple captain, bench boost. Well, I've used three actually. Bench boost three. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's paid off. I've had wild card and then three assistant managers and then a free hit. So I've had literally had one active every single week. Still got the bench boost left to use, so we will see what happens there. But we're gonna have a look now at the last 4 game weeks. Oh, sorry, Baz. Go on. Do you want to add something there?
No, no.
Um,
We're
last
not we're not going to touch any of the cup results. Sorry, then, Alex.
I like to think that I'm not that bad about stuff like this, right? But I am so salty with you two for who you've
Well,
picked.
well done, Baz. You've done all right here, haven't we? You can
Yeah,
only beat
no.
us in front of you, mate.
This is what happens when you've got two good teams.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
get drawn against weaker opponents.
Absolute joke. Second in manager of the month, and I get Nikola Vasovic. What a joke. Anyway, 85, 83, but he's got Matoma coming off his bench. So I'm 91 to 83 behind at the moment, thanks to that last minute Matoma goal. Cheers. Brilliant. So close. Let's have a look down now. We had Scott
Mine's pretty close.
Yeah.
8-0.
He's got a few points going off the bench.
You know that 14-year-old IPL player? Just knocking him for fun.
Absolutely mental, isn't it? Friendly battle between David Byrne and Adrian Chippendale. David Byrne getting the better of him there as well. Yeah, 105 to 100. Phil Hallam, that's brutal. Hardcore's knocking out Matchelette 90 to 75. Barry knocking out Mr. Ashley, 87 to 54. There's some big names left in this cup, you know. Like there's not, no offense obviously to Len who wasn't even trying. There's not really a Len in here. There's a Liam Ormsby, but there's
He's dabbling a bit this season. To be fair to Liam Hornsby, he's
yeah,
dabbling.
yeah, he's actually has been paying attention to his team, to be fair, because he was telling me all about it, and I finally passed him, and he was getting a bit annoyed about it, but still, I was like, "You use your chips, that's why, mate." So yeah, got one game left to play this week, which is Forest at home to Brentford. Before we find out the round of 16 and see who's going to be playing each other for a place in the quarterfinals. So it's going to be very exciting. Keep an eye out who you've got, but pretty much all the cup results are set. But yeah, mine's one of the ones that isn't. So it's going to be very exciting. FDR, seen some ones on here for the first time in a long time. Southampton and Leicester. That's it's the ultimate abuse. Quick question to you, Scott. I mean, I don't know if you have paid that much attention to the football league this season. No offense to Scunny, of course, but like, have you paid attention to the championship in any way? I know you like that sort of that level of football is something that you genuinely are interested in. How do you
Yeah,
think,
like keep an eye on it. Yeah.
how do you think Burnley and Leeds, from what you've seen, are going to fare next season compared to the last 2 seasons in a row where the three teams that have been promoted have gone back down?
I mean, I, I think they're going to struggle. No doubt about it. I don't think Leeds will be recreating the first season of the Premier League last time they went up, where they were really comfortable. They played some really good football. Um, it's an interesting one because you've got polar opposites of teams there. You got Leeds who score for fun, scored what 90 odd goals or something like that. Like it's
Yeah,
um,
miles ahead, aren't they?
93 goals, conceded 29. So people do look at Leeds and go, "Oh, do you know what? It's all attacking," but they've got the second best defense in the league as well, and everyone talks up sort of Burnley's, which is ridiculous, but Leeds is really impressive as well with let's be honest, dodgy keeper in there. I think Leeds' main position is that one, heavily linked with Kelleher from Liverpool. I think we'll all agree that would be a brilliant signing for him.
Wonderful. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, and I personally think at this moment in time he can set a mid-table Prem club, but he's going to give you guaranteed football there. And Leeds United, as much as people might say they are a big club, they get 40,000 every week or whatever it is, well supported, home and away. So yeah, I think Leeds is, from what I've been watching, will just need to be a little bit more savvy at the back. Burnley attacking assets is probably where they want to go. They've only scored 66 goals this season, which is what almost 30 behind what Leeds have done. They have got some good players in there, though. I think the difference for them was when they signed, what's his name on loan from Sporting Lisbon, as you'll
Marcus
probably know who
Edwards.
I'm talking about.
Marcus Edwards.
Marcus Edwards from in January, they got him on loan. A brilliant player. I believe they
Signed
have
him
an
permanent.
obligation. Yeah, they've got obligation, haven't they, to
Yeah,
buy
he
him
signed
now?
him. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a brilliant player. So yeah, I think with Scott Parker, he's certainly got a point to prove. I think he's, if we're talking about the greatest championship or second level managers of all time, he's probably in that conversation. Third promotion from three different teams, but he's never done it in the Premier League. So I think he's got a big point to prove. Obviously, last time Burnley went up, they wanted to keep the philosophy with playing football under Vincent Company, and they got caught out. Look at what Southampton did; they tried to do the same thing. So I think you called it out very early on, Alex, in one of these podcasts that Southampton needed to actually take stock of themselves and say, look, we can't play this kind of football. We need to be a bit more smart in what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I think Leeds are better equipped. They're both going up with managers that have been there before. Have both been like struggled, sacked, relegated from the Premier League before. But I think Leeds are just better equipped this time around. They'll have a little bit of financial backing. I know Burnley will have as well, but I think we're looking bottom half with both of them. I don't think anyone's doing a mid-table. I think we're looking bottom six.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm thinking Leeds are certainly the better of the two teams. But you've got to pick three teams out of the Prem to come down. That's really hard
That was
because
that was the point exactly I was going to ask you about because who do you actually think and see being down there with them next season?
it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you'll scroll down to the bottom now. West Ham, you'd like to think with a summer recruitment under Potter that he'll be able to get them going a little bit. Spurs, who knows what the hell's going on there? They don't win Europa League, they get a new manager in. Let's see what happens to that. Everton, back them. I don't think they'll be in that situation next season under Moyes. New stadium, new lease of life. Man United, you wouldn't expect to be under there. Wolves would be one where I'd put a question mark on, only because Cunha's going. A couple of raw big boys. Is it Gomez who sits in the middle of the park? A few of them are linked with moves away.
Yes.
Um,
Definitely Saras as well. Apparently getting
yeah,
keeper in.
yeah. There's definitely a few of them that. So I think the manager's really good, but if they lose that again, they could be in a relegation. Same as Palace. If they lose a couple of their players, could be in a similar situation, especially if Palace win the FA Cup in Europe. Again, we know sometimes teams struggle with that, but there's no teams where I look and go bloody hell. Ipswich, they've stayed up by the finest of margins. I think they'll struggle. There's no one like that. The favourites for relegation are going to be whoever wins the playoffs. The second favourite for relegation is going to be Burnley. The third favourite for relegation is going to be Leeds United.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult, I think, especially when I look at the teams that are in the playoffs. I can't imagine any of them staying up next season. Even the teams when I think it's like Millwall, Blackburn, Borough, as well with Bristol City, obviously Sheffield United, Sunderland, and who else? There's one other team in there.
Coventry.
Coventry, of course, under Lampard. So I can't see any of them, but yeah, it's going to be difficult. And we can look forward to next season when it comes down to FPL. Those are the teams that everyone's going to be targeting. It's going to look at those fixture runs at the beginning of the season, and that's where everyone's going to be investing, isn't it, against them? It's just the start. It's going
It'd
to
have
be.
been it'd have been fun if your boys won the last game and had a little slight sniff on the final day, Baz. But good end to your season anyway, mate.
It was, yeah, and he looks like he's going to get a permanent job as well. So
Well
fair
deserved.
play to him. He's played so much attacking football, did really well against Leeds. We looked so good going forward compared to last season when I went and watched him, and they got absolutely pummeled. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic about next season. Obviously, Wrexham's there as well, and Cardiff's gone down.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So
You've
yeah,
still got
so
your squad. You've still got
North
your work
versus
cut out,
South
haven't you?
derby, not the Southwest. So yeah,
That's,
interesting.
there was a big topic of conversation on the Rousers into the radio yesterday, and that was a big topic of conversation about Wrexham because obviously their income, their business generation, their actual revenue is way bigger than Swansea's
Oh, it's
because of the
massive.
and so that it's there's that big thing about who's going to be the biggest Welsh club. Is it going to be Wrexham for the first time in however long? And this, that, and the other. It was a interesting debate. I think you're going to be wanting to
Well,
just
yeah,
try and
I
finish ahead
mean,
of them, aren't you, next season, Baz? That's going to be the main thing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
we're
going to be
talking
nice if we get
teams.
Modric. Obviously,
Oh, that
with
would be good.
Modric, obviously being like part of the owner, so maybe some Real Madrid players maybe would be nice. So get them on loan.
I can't see Jude coming over, mate. I can't lie, but never mind.
No, but
You might get Joe.
Vinicius Junior maybe might be all
I get Joe. Um, well,
Well, I'll tell you, when we talk really quickly about teams going up, we've just named three teams going up to the Prem. That'll be favourites for relegation. Wrexham will be one of the bookies' favourites for promotion.
oh, they will.
and
Yeah,
Birmingham as well.
yeah. Well, Birmingham's put. I mean, they can have record points tally of any British team if they get four more points. Something I think it's four more points they need.
They're on 105 at the moment as well.
Silly, yeah.
They're the
That's what
greatest
happens
team.
when you're in League One and you spend what 10 million on a player. 10 million on a player in League One. That's crazy.
It is crazy. Well, that was a nice chat for everyone who wasn't bothered about FPL. But uh, teams to focus on. Uh, let's start with Aston Villa. Out the cup, out the Champions League. 4 games left of the Premier League season to try and get Champions League football. Well in with a shout of it still, like they all are in that group. Fulham at home, Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, Man U away. Um, everyone's new um, everyone's new star boy Rashford's out injured for probably the rest of the season. So Mr. Watkins is up top. We've got a few debates coming up in terms of best midfielder and best striker. Rodgers has got to be in that debate. Baz, if you haven't got a Villa asset with those fixtures, are you looking at getting one in, or are we not too fussed considering the first two aren't the easiest fixtures in the world compared to some of the others?
I've had Rodgers all season, so obviously he's going to be cemented into my team. Watkins would be a great shout if you're chasing. But he didn't look very good in the FA Cup, but he looked immense against Newcastle. So hopefully he can just continue that form in the Premier League, not his FA Cup form. So he could be a good shout if you want to obviously get off the Isaac train because of Newcastle's fixtures not going good so far, and obviously they haven't looked really good. Looked absolute terrible against Aston Villa. So it could be a potential gamble to do that. Or maybe if you've got some money in the bank and maybe upgrade Mateta, maybe to Watkins. But defense wise, they look shaky, so I wouldn't be investing in them, even though I've already got Digne. So I might even look at transferring him out, but I don't like doing transfers on defenders. So
Finally, when his place is probably nailed, you're going to
yeah,
transfer.
exactly. Yeah. But they don't keep clean sheets, and he hasn't really done a lot of tackle returns recently. I know he's been in and out of the team, but Matson's been more going forward than what Digne has. So I think it'll just be what Rodgers and then maybe a gamble on Watkins.
Feels like Villa are pretty nailed in terms of getting European football to be top 8, I think, this year, isn't it? Nailed for European places. Um, and then I know there's a way that like 10 can get into Europe still, which I won't go into the detail of. But Villa are seventh, 6 points clear of Fulham, and they're 4 points off Man City in fourth, but only 3 points off Chelsea in fifth. So it's all to play for still. I agree, Baz. If I was going to be wildcarding right now, because some people have got wildcards left, I'd absolutely be Rodgers and Watkins, and then it would be a debate on maybe one of the defenders.
You could argue Tielemans has played well, but he doesn't get a lot of FPL points. He's played so
Is
that
that
it could be like a Douglas Luiz when he just hit flames. So is he around that time to hit flames, or has he already hit them and he's getting extinguished? So
anything to add, Scotty, in terms of the Villa assets?
Well, I would add that no one jumps out at me. No one's in sparkling form either. Rodgers is probably the one which consistent. I think majority of people like me, like probably both of you, had him all season. I don't think he's been out of my team. I don't actually know if I've got him now. I have no idea if he's in my team. Probably should check that.
I think you
Wild
are.
carded, isn't that? He is, yeah. But the only thing I would say on those fixtures is isn't it funny how they've got Fulham at home and Bournemouth away, and them two are the hard fixtures with Spurs at home and Man United away? That's crazy, right?
It
Like
is.
their two hardest fixtures are the first two there.
We've got to remember as well, like if United and Spurs make the Europa League final, which is basically 50-50 in both games, um, between game weeks 37 and 38 is the Europa League final.
I mean, you've got to say Spurs is small 70-80%. Bodo Glint is
Well,
really playing
they knocked out
They
Lazio.
did, they do, but they should be winning that. Man United much harder because obviously they've got the team's playing well, and it's that they're home in at the final. So
Yeah, it's a really hard game actually, and they've got some proper star players as well. Obviously, Nico Williams and players like that. It's going to be a difficult
do you know,
game.
do you know good fact about Bilbao? I never knew this. All their players have got to be born like in the region to play for him.
Yeah, in the Basque.
Basque
Yeah,
region. Yeah.
really cool, really cool fact.
It's a good challenge to do on Football Manager.
I bet you bask in the challenge, don't you?
Oh, like he's in that sunshine in the window getting burnt.
Yeah, get your after sun.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Scott. You keep them, you probably don't buy them. And I think when we compare some of the other strikers and midfielders that are coming up, if you haven't got them already, they're better options. And talking about better options, let's talk about Brentford. Home against Man United, fantastic fixture. Then away to Ipswich, another fantastic fixture. Homes against Fulham, Brentford are like at home as well compared to away. Generally better at home. Generally, I know that this season it's not been a massive difference. At the beginning of the season, it was a huge difference, but it's sort of evened out with the way the fixtures have run. And then Wolves away again, not a strong team. I think Brentford are probably top of the fixture, ticking near enough for the rest of the season. It's pretty close. And Mbumo, Wissa, both got to be on the shopping list this week. Baz, anybody else other than those two guys, or are we really looking at those two? Should we look at defenders? Collins is the sort of player. Anything? What do you think?
I think Collins is just an aerial threat. If what's his name? Lewis Potter was
I
classified
knew
as a defender.
you'd say Lewis Potter.
If
I
he
was
was
like, he's
classified as a
definitely. I've got him on
defender, then
I have
all
him on
day
my
long,
screen.
all day long you'd be getting him. But obviously he's classified as a midfielder, so you wouldn't be wasting a midfielding slot on him. So for me, I think it's just them two. Obviously, quite a few people have got Flecken as a goalkeeper still. So I wouldn't. If you're wildcarding, could be an option to have another keeper. But yeah, I think that's it.
Do you know who's like does nothing and then bags a hat trick? Kevin
Sharda.
Sharder.
Sharda.
He ain't done that for a while, so maybe just gamble on him doing that.
0.7% owned, absolutely on the list for differential draft later on, lads. Of course, he would be. He's especially against Man United. Sharda is an excellent draft pick. He is already on my list of transactions for draft. So it's yeah. If obviously I'm lucky enough to get him this week, then that'd be great. In my chase for Martin, where I've fallen off a cliff. Unfortunately, never mind. But we will see. It's not gone well for me. It looks like I'm going to end up coming second in that league, but yeah, at least it's money back, I suppose. Scott, if you haven't got them, do you get them? Bumo and Vista?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. They're just on it. Like I say, the best fixtures, they pretty much always deliver. Like what's so good about them as well is if one's scoring, it's usually the other one assisting them. So if you get that
Kane and
notification,
Son.
yeah, you get that notification Brentford goal, you're pretty confident that it's going to be both involved. So yeah, and they've got really. We talk about ceilings. I know it's one of your favorite things. They've got high ceilings. They can hit 18, 15 pointers. So yeah, I think so.
Literally,
Alex's case, he hopes it is an 18-pointer.
he just got it against Brighton. Just need him to do it again, back to back 18 pointers for Mbumo, and that's it, manager of the month. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, absolutely. He returns more than. I mean, he's the second highest scoring FPL player this season. Is Mbumo. At the end of the day, he's got 18 goals and 7 assists. I mean, 18 goals. This is one of we're talking about teams that might end up being down there next season. Brentford are one of those teams that if they lose Mbumo and Visser, and Mbumo,
Potentially the manager.
yeah, potentially the manager as well. They are one of those teams that could end up dropping. I mean, we've said this about them a couple of times, really, when they would lose Tony and whatever. But And Boomer still is probably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I mean, he has to be going to a Champions League club next season. He's proved
This
himself
is a
every
this is
year.
a genuine question for you. This is not even me being jokey, right? If he wasn't bald, if he had like a nice, like beautiful hair like you, do you reckon he would get the respect that he deserves? I think he goes under the radar because he's bald.
And his beard's a bit scruffy. Um, you never know, maybe.
Is
And
it
Um,
Man
because he ain't
United not
got
looking at him.
yeah,
they're
I
linked with
don't.
everyone though, aren't they?
I don't understand how we can. I mean, like, if we need two players to play in that 10, I mean, I'd
Just
rather
get them
them.
both.
Well, I'd rather them Boom over Cunha. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's just yeah, it's attracting Mbeumo that's going to be the hard thing. I mean, like, yeah. Whereas Cunha's a bit of a different story, but yeah, Mbeumo's got to be a player that's on the
You've
list.
got if you've got 100 million, would you throw that at both of them?
Well, Wissa's got a buyout clause, I think, because
Oh,
What should
Forest nearly activated it in January.
yeah. I
should
mean, this is when you. I mean, again, you're looking at a player who improves us. I mean, Liam Delap scored more goals than Xerxes and Hoyland combined this year, and we're
What's
looking
that?
at him obviously. But yeah, it's not hard to say. We're looking at him as
Oh, some of the players
Even
you're linked
friggin'
with
what's it?
really just
Onochu. Onochu's probably scored more goals than them.
he's close. But yeah, this has got 15 goals, 5 assists. I mean, I I don't understand as Man United, especially if we manage to somehow get in the Champions League, we've got to be spending some money on one of those two guys. Like
oh,
they play in the system that Amarin likes in the first place. Like it's just Premier League proven players who score double digit goals. Buy them. It's really quite frustrating. Yeah, we can't attract Mbeumo if we don't make European football though. He has to go to a better team. Um, so whereas this is one of those sort of again underrated players we might still be able to get. Yeah, a question I was going to ask Baz because I think it's pretty obvious that one of those two guys, if you've got one free transfer, you don't want to take a hit, this, that, and the other. Which one are you going for, and who are you subbing out of the relatively template team right now that I think most people have got if they've wildcarded? You know, you've got across that midfield, you've got Saka, Salah, Eze probably is on that. Rodgers, who's the other midfielder? A lot of people have probably Palmer are being a lot of midfields to get rid of for and boom, Jacob Murphy. All across the front, you've got that Isak, Matt, Mamouche, and Mateta for Wissa.
Yeah, I think if you've got just to pick one of them, I'd have Mbumo over Wissa because I think he's got a higher ceiling. And you're looking at probably Eze, or if you've got money in the bank, upgrade Murphy 100% to Mbumo. They'll be the two that I'll be looking at. And it was one of the transfers that I was kind of looking at, but I'm just slightly priced out. So I'm going to be boring and I'm going to do a defensive transfer this week. So
That's
yeah,
so dull, mate. When you're attacking the last four fixtures, though, like
I know, but I've seen my back line and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get a lot of points. Then I'm going to get twos and ones. So yeah, it's not liking that. So, but yeah, for me, it'd be that because I fancy Wood over Wissa
okay.
for a
Well,
striker option.
interesting. So out of all of those options, you will be going for Bumo in for Murphy. That would be the number one transfer, probably
Yeah,
off
if you've
the
got money in the bank. If not, then you might have to go Thursday.
is it? Scott, your thoughts
Isaac out.
for Vissa? That's the number
This
one transfer you'd do.
I'll do them both. I'll
Okay.
probably do them.
What for a minus?
Mbuemo, who's got a minus?
No, would you take a minus? One free transfer, would you take a minus?
I won't take a minus now because you're not getting the two players I'm saying there are not Deadwoods at all. So like Isaac, we know can return, but you might look at that and go, oh, 6'2", 6'5", 2'8", steady away, but he's been hammering teams. He's barely been getting like many returns.
Mhm.
So I don't think he's and Newcastle's running fixtures: Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Everton at home. It's not the easiest running fixtures to win the season. I would also, looking at my own team there, I think probably Saka's coming out this week. Sandwich, that Bournemouth game is nice at home, even though Bournemouth had a good season, but it's sandwiched between the biggest two games ever for Arsenal. So, like, he's probably getting rested. He's probably coming on for 20, 30 minutes of that game. And then they've got Liverpool away, Newcastle at home, and obviously then probably bring him back in for the banter that is Southampton away. But again, maybe not, because when would the big Champions League final
Well,
be?
this is the thing. He probably doesn't play in the Southampton game if they make the
No.
Champions League final. Um, he'll play the Newcastle game. That's the game he'll play because they're second and third in the league to
Yeah.
cover off. Liverpool, he'll no doubt get some minutes. That's for sure. But yeah, no, I agree with that. I look at that Bournemouth game and I think there's a chance he probably doesn't start. Um,
I
uh,
don't think that.
uh, well, he doesn't finish it if he starts it, does he?
I mean,
Yeah.
he's the most he's
60-minute man.
played. He's played 56 minutes is the most he's played against, and that was Ipswich. Since game week 16. 16.
Hmm.
Obviously, he's had a lot of injury. He was injured for a while, but
Yeah, I do. I agree with that. I mean, this. I mean, he's never. It's just that on the edge. I'll be honest. I thought they'd get knocked out of the Champions League to Real Madrid, which is one of the reason why I wildcard him. And if I'd have known they'd have gone, if I'd known they'd beat Real Madrid and get through to the Champions League semis, I would never have wildcarded him in. Um,
yeah, me neither.
just the way it is. I thought Madrid would do him. But anyway, there you go. They did Madrid, didn't they? Very, very much so.
So I'm also looking at my team and I'm thinking, my God, West Ham are in a horrendous run of form, but not taking Jared Bowen out of the team. The kid's like the only thing producing for him, and they're got Spurs at home.
Yeah, Bowen is going to be talked about in a minute. That's for sure. Let's sort of glance. Everton have got a really good run. They've got Ipswich and Southampton at home in the next two. Fulham away in the middle. You were talking about a defensive transfer this week. I'm really struggling to pin down who I would get from an attacking point of view on Everton. Surely a Mikalenko or a Branthwaite, or surely they're ahead of anybody when it comes down to defensive transfer. Baz, what do you think?
Hit nail on the head with first one. Mikalenko will be coming in 4.3 million. He's 5 point something percent owned. I was
5.3.
looking at O'Brien, but he's now moved to centre half because Tarkowski's injured. Could gamble on a Patterson maybe, but I haven't got that much of a issue.
Are you sure?
So yeah, yeah. So yeah, so he's the one that I'm looking at is Mikalenko. Can't remember who for though, but for Bradley, 100% is Bradley, because he's not going to probably play now. So yeah, so for me, that's my transfer this week. I know it's boring because it's defensive, but yeah, Mikalenko. I think Everton are usually solid at the back. Only conceded one. Pickford's obviously save points as well, so he could be a good wild card option to get in. But offensively. There's no one really screaming out, even though I tipped McNeil. But obviously he came off the bench, but he's only just come back from injury. So
The one thing we'll say about Everton is they've only kept one clean sheet since game week 24. But their fixtures have been very hard and they have been sort of grinding out a lot of 1-1s, losing 1-0 to Liverpool, a 1-1 with Arsenal. They lost 2-0 to City, but lost 1-0 to Chelsea. It feels like it could be there, the clean sheets, especially against Ipswich, maybe Fulham as well, with Jimenez out of form and Moon is injured, and then Southampton. Yeah, that's where I'd be. Anything to add, Scott, on Everton, or should we shift on?
Shift up.
Shift on. Well, that leaves you wide open to talking about Manchester City. Wolves at home, Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away. Feels like I'm targeting Bournemouth and Fulham a lot in this run of fixtures, by the way. And I'm not. But Wolves at home, Southampton away, next two fixtures for Man City. I'd have thought you're holding on to the assets that you've got. Marmoush and Guardiola's probably the two main ones. Are you looking at... Would you transfer them in, I suppose, is the first question. And would you transfer anyone else in, is the second question to lead on to after that.
I certainly, well, I'll answer that second question now. No, I wouldn't transfer anyone else in. Would I transfer these two in? Probably not. Like Mamouche, we know was on okay form, 12-9, blank 7. But last couple of game weeks, he's not returned. He will play play. He plays like minimum 80 minutes a game. Be keeping him in my team. If I've got him, do I have him? Yes, I do. It messes you up when you do a free hit, doesn't it? I
Does
totally
you
forget who I've
forget?
got in my team.
You do forget.
But yeah, I'm keeping him in. Like Wolves, we can't deny they've been on a really good run of form. They've also been playing like some really crap teams, and they are liable to leak a goal. And then obviously Southampton away, nice fixture. So yeah, I'm keeping him in. Probably keeping Gvardiol in as well. We know he's a threat from as an attacking option as well. But would I bring Gvardiol in? No, I definitely wouldn't be bringing him in. I'd rather bring in an Everton asset in, like we've just talked about. Would I bring Mamouche in? No, I don't think I would. I don't think I'd bring any Man City players in.
I think
But
all of
I'm
the
keeping them
strikers.
too.
Yeah, I think all of the strikers that begin with a W I bring in before Marmoush, Wood
Yeah,
Watkins, and the other one that we talked about, Vista.
Vista.
They're all. You're just never bringing any of them in, but you're never
Welbeck.
transferring any of them out. Yeah, maybe even Welbeck. I mean, you look at Newcastle at home, it's probably not the fixture I'd target, but Wolves away after. I've brought him in draft, so yeah, go on Welbeck. Anything else to add on City, Baz? I mean, I know you're desperate to mention O'Reilly.
No, it's the wrong one. It's Brighton O'Reilly that I'm obsessed with. Um, no, I might be conservative and save a bit of money because Haaland's back training, so he might be back on the 10th of May, and that Southampton fixture could be a double game week. So,
It,
interesting.
yes, it is. It is true. We have got to bear in mind. You have brought up something there that we have got an FA Cup final of Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. That's. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Have I got that right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, sorry, I panicked then because the final's the same weekend as 37, isn't it? So we could get that Bournemouth and Southampton being a double game week. We could get Spurs and Wolves being a double game week for Palace. So it could be something to bear in mind as well. It's probably I suppose we're waiting for the fixtures to get confirmed, right? But just on that, it's probably why you'd want to do the Murphy out, isn't it, from Bumo over the Eze out, just in case you get the double game week of Spurs and Wolves for Palace. Like maybe Baz, you think?
yeah, very true. It's made me think about keeping Mateta just for that reason, and maybe getting rid of like what Scott mentioned, Isaac. He's obviously looked off form, so that's potentially one reason why Mateta might be staying in.
Yeah,
Um,
it, that is a thought. Maybe that makes Isak out of that front three more likely to get transferred out with Brighton and Chelsea in single game weeks, and even the single game week, which he'd be back for, which the others were blanketed, would be Arsenal away. So you're not that bothered about having Isak for Arsenal away, are you really? So interesting. Um, yes. So anything else on City, Baz?
no.
It's amazing how a lot of the top scoring and informed players for these clubs are their managers. That's how strong this assistant manager chip is and how wrong they've got it. This season, you're looking through the form, it's mental. Forest. Where do we go, Barry? Where do we go with Forest? Aina Williams is William injured now? What do we do with the back? What do we do?
I think defensively is probably a no-go now. Even though they've got Leicester and West Ham, it's they just look all over the place when the two wing backs aren't there with Williams and Aina. The balance of the whole team just goes. I think it's probably just Wood, to be honest. Gibbs White looks a bit off the ball. Hudson-Odoi's been out of the team, and Alanga's coming back from injury. So yeah, I think it's just Wood. But then you could argue probably not because, like I said, they're all out of form. Then who's giving him the support and who's putting in the crosses for him? So maybe it's twisting my arm and actually go Wissa over Wood because of the fact that I've just talked myself out of it. You can hear me reversing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think if anything, probably just Wood, but he's not nailed on my in my team.
Right.
Oh, I've just thought of a good name for this week's episode, but I'll tell you later. I'm pretty proud of that. I've probably used it already.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm excited. Tell me later. I thought you were going to say it now. You said you'd tell me later, and that no, it's good. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Baz. I don't know if you were wild carding out, because a lot of people have saved the wild cards for 35. I've seen this was the last sort of point for wild carding for the season, and in the wild card draft, I put double defense for Forest just because they've been so good for the season. But I just don't like that Milenkovic and Sells. But I just don't really. And Wood was obviously in the team as well. But maybe just one of them. I don't. Yeah, it's tricky. I would definitely be investing in the Everton defense over the Forest defense with that run of fixture from if I was in your position just because of the injuries. Which sounds bonkers because Forest are like fourth or fifth in the league table, fourth in the league table, or whatever, and one of the best defenses in this season. We should be looking at Forest really, but yeah, just with those numbers, and yeah, you just can't trust that midfield. You know they're going to bang at some point, don't you? Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, and Morgan Gibbs-White, but Elliot Anderson's in the best form out of all of them, so it's you're just not going to go there, are you? Um, yeah, Let's let's finish off by talking about West Ham then. Bowen or bust, Scott?
Oh yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you anyone else I'd get other than Bowen right now. Yeah, Bowen is performing really well in a team that's playing really crap. So if they just put their ideas up 10% and give him a few more chances, 9-9-2-7 the last four games, he's the one that's looking most likely. Spurs at home, one of the nicest fixtures on the tracker, the tracker. And then Man United away. They've got that nice little double of games that people like to go back to back Spurs and Man United.
Hmm.
Finish away at Ipswich. Obviously, you got home to Forest in there, which will be a tricky game. But yeah, I think Jared Bowen's a genuine shout. But no one else for West Ham at all. I won't go anywhere near anyone else.
Yeah, I agree. I put him. He's in the wild card draft that I did. And yeah, I mean, I had Areola because he was a cheap goalkeeper, but actually I had loads of budget. So to be honest, I could have put a different goalkeeper in as well. But has anyone else to throw in for West Ham before I ask you a couple more key questions between them?
I think it's probably just Bowen and maybe kudos, but I mean that's it really.
Yeah. So midfielders, I want you to rank them 1 to 5. Scott, you might need to write these down.
Oh no, my pen's just bloody exploded everywhere though.
Ah, that's a pain, isn't it?
Oh,
Couldn't handle the heat
got
today.
too excited, didn't it?
Uh, Morgan Rogers and Bumo. I put Kevin De Bruyne in here for a laugh, because you never know, do you? Elanga and Bowen. I want you to rank them 1 to 5, Baz. Rogers and Bumo, KDB, Elanga, and Bowen. Who are you putting as the number one, two, three, four, and five in terms of priority for picks?
So I think Elanga's number 5.
Okay. Elanga's number 5.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne because the rotation risk. I'm going to go for 4.
Okay, yeah. Rogers and Bumo and Bowen left.
Number
I'm
one,
going to go.
Boo in it,
I'm going to go. Oh, it's a tough one because Rodgers is a good cheap option. If you're struggling for budget, he could be good for that. I'm going to go Rodgers for 3, Bowen 2, and then Boomer 1.
Yeah, I have exactly the same order as you, except I've swapped KDB and Elanga around.
I
I
spot
put
the top two around.
you put a Bowen as number one pick over Mbumo.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you said yeah, no. I misheard.
Yeah, so Mbumo, Bowen, Rogers, KDB, Elanga, or Elanga, KDB is the bottom. But I think we've all got that top three as Mbumo, Bowen, and Rogers out of those, which is good.
I'd have Keen Lewis Potter number one.
Oh, here he is. Well,
Or Rashada.
oh, stop talking. This podcast is PG, lads. Um, Watkins, Wissa, Marmoush, and Wood. Rank them, Baz.
So Wood, Wissa, and Mamouche, did you say? And Watkins.
Watkins, Wood, Wissa, Marmoush.
So Mamouche before, one for the fact I had him as captain the other week and he didn't look anywhere near. He was playing more left-sided.
Okay.
And they were playing like a weird false nine with Gundogan. So for me, Mamouche would be bottom. Wood third, Wissa, and then Watkins.
So Watkins number one would be the pick.
Yeah.
Scott, Watkins, Wissa, Wood, Wamoosh.
Waboosh.
I know. No, in fact, they literally said it like that.
Watkins. This the number one. Who's next? Mamouche, Watkins, and Wood.
Yeah.
Watkins, Wood, Mamouche.
Yeah, I've agreed with your order there, Scott. I've literally just swapped Watkins and the surrounders to Baz, and yeah, I agree with that order as well. So those are the main transfers to bring in. I think we've agreed it's the Brentford boys, and then it's Bowen and Watkins are the second choices on there in terms of the players to debate. I mean, Wood probably would be higher up. Probably would be higher up, but compared to the whole season stats. But yeah, at the moment in terms of form, it's not quite been there. Captaincy then. Let's have a look at the fixtures for game week 35. Deadline is a Friday deadline, everybody. It's Friday deadline. 6:30. We've got Man City against Wolves on Friday night football. Sky have decided to do a few Friday night footballs to finish off the season, by the way. I'll just flick through these. They've got a Friday night game week 35. They've got a Friday night on game week 37. So just a couple of Fridays to really mess with you for your routines. Man City Wolves on Friday at 8 o'clock, so 6:30 deadline. Villa, Fulham, Everton, Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, the battle of who's the worst. Arsenal, Bournemouth, Brentford, Man United, Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Palace, Forest. Now, I think pretty tough week to pick your captain.
You usually go who's Leicester playing and who's Southampton playing.
Makes it
Yeah.
hard. And then default to who Ipswich are playing, but then it's Everton who are doing it. So it's just a really tough week, isn't it?
Pickford's the captain.
Wow. Might see a few defenders captain this week, to be honest. But
I think it's tough when you glance at it, and then when you think about it, it's not tough.
it's the play.
And Buemo, obviously.
Yeah, it's the player you're bringing in out of the two of them, isn't it? I'll be bringing in Mbumo this week for Murphy and captain him against Man United. That's what my decision will be. And I don't normally like captaining players against my team, but when I actually do not care about the game whatsoever, and I only care about the two games on the Thursday that's around it, that's where I am. That's where I'm at with it. I think we'll get absolutely tanked at the G Tech. I think it'll be maybe 3 or 4 we'll concede. Barry?
If I had Bowen, I'd be captaining him. Spurs look absolute awful, didn't they? Even with a half decent team out against Liverpool, conceded chance after chance after chance. So, and Bowen's
I
there
think,
does much for him. So,
yeah, but that's the reason. It isn't got much support around them doing anything, have they? That's why I'd be a bit scared.
yeah, but that's the gamble one. I think I just wanted to go for a different one to you guys.
The differential king strikes again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Baz, I think he's the gamble pick. I haven't got either of them, Mbumo or Bowen in my team, so I'll be bringing one of them in, and it'll be Mbumo, and I'll be captaining him. I won't be taking a -4 to bring Bowen in, though. I just won't be taking a minus to do it compared to, and the reason probably being is that I'm probably going to hold on to the Eze. I've got Eze, Saka, Salah, and one of the other probably obvious one, Rodgers. So I'm just not going to get rid of any of them, especially when there's a potential double game week for Palace coming up. So yeah, that's where I sit. Anything else to add on these fixtures, Baz, before we crack on with our differential draft?
No, I'm thinking I'm just going to let the wheel decide for my captain.
What the flip that?
Are you gonna spin it and then you don't like it and you're gonna do the usual thing and spin it again?
Oh man, I always do it first time. I record it. Don't I lie for you guys?
Have you
I
Do it
thought I-
once.
have you stuck? Have you stuck with that pick?
Or I might just get Grace and to just pick.
Tyranny.
Yeah. Driving Tony, wasn't it?
So no. Right, Baz, talk us through how everyone's got on this week then, in terms of the differential draft. Scott's bracing himself. He doesn't have a clue. You haven't got a clue with your team.
What do you mean? Oh, Scott scrambling for pen.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Actually, I do know one player, and he got a bloody red card.
so Phil won again, beat us all. He's just too good at this game. He got 35. Obviously, he had Sarr and Session in the same defense as me. But obviously, he didn't have Andres Pereira that I was building up. He actually got 2 points more than me, so he had Bruno Guimaraes instead. So he got 35, I got 33.
I've got a challenge for him then, Baz. I've got a challenge for you, Phil. Right? You wait till we put our picks out this week, because you're doing really well. You've got to go different to us.
No, he probably asked me, to be honest. But yeah, okay, yeah, he might be up for that challenge. So I came second overall, and then Alex, then Scott. So the order is Scott goes first, then Alex, then me, and Guy's hoping for Gibbs White to perform because he's only got 4 points this week.
And he's resting on Gibbs White.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Guy, I'm adoring your picks recently. By the way, you are properly like going rogue. I love it. There's
To
so
be
so
fair, he did go for Vardy, and he was on my list because obviously he's leaving announced and all that, and I was thinking, oh, he might score.
He had scored in years.
yeah. Everyone wishes he had scored. I think.
Correct.
But there you
Shard is 0.7%.
Why have you gone for Sharda? I really wanted Sharda this week. Um, I'm gonna go for Kevin De Bruyne at 7.2%.
Don't do it, Baz.
Going for Trossard, 3.9%.
I love that. No, we've all talked about this guy and being potential captain, and no one's even mentioned 9.1% Jared Bowen.
Oh, was he only 9.1%?
Yeah, no, I thought it was
Yeah.
more, to be honest.
I've got my screens.
But I never pick an under 10, to be honest.
That's Scott. You've absolutely had me on toast. I thought he was over 10%. I didn't even look for him.
Do your research, lad. I
Brilliant.
always told you.
Absolutely brilliant from you, Scott. Had me on toast. That was the obvious pick all day long, I think, there as well. I'm going to go for Ndai at 0.9%.
I'm gonna go for Gundogan 0.5. Hopefully he plays the false nine again.
Mhm.
I'm scrambling now. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Well, you've got the best pick though, Scott, this week. So you've won already morally.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, well, I've always won the hearts of the people, haven't I? So that's always in the back pocket.
Absolutely.
Oh, dear me. Danny Ings, is he getting games? Oh, dear, issues. God, I can't wait for them to be more strikers next year. Terrible.
Awful.
They're probably a bit less.
The selection of strikers for the indifferential draft is terrible this week. That's why I just got
Oh,
Ndai picked.
it's awful, yeah. Right, sorry, 2 seconds.
So I get my under one done as well. Not
Oh, do you know what? He'll play. Oh no, you're playing Arsenal away. I got really happy in my head then thinking, oh, Bournemouth, they've got a striker that's banned. Oh no, wait, they're playing Arsenal away.
Hmm.
Is it me? Yeah.
It certainly is.
We'll just gamble on Beto. Sometimes he plays.
Sometimes, but I think you might get Brozier to be honest on that one as well.
Uh, his Beto is cute, isn't he?
I'm gonna go for Ramsdale at 1.4.
I'm going for Edison at 4.9.
Right, what problem I keep then? I'm going to go for
They're the only two keepers I had on my list, to be honest.
close the bloody tab down. Sorry.
Okay, Manson.
Marilyn Manson, did you say?
Marilyn?
Can't say Marilyn Manson. I'll go for who's playing wing back for Everton? Ashley Young, is it?
Is it O'Brien? Not O'Brien. Is it O'Brien?
No, he moved to centre back, hasn't
Yeah, pick Ashley Young.
he? No, I'm not going to pick Ashley Young. I'm going to pick O'Brien. Yes. Oh, 0.5% banner. Going for another under one.
I like it. Going for your under ones. I'm gonna go for Ruben Diaz at 3.7%.
I'm going to pick the wing back that Scott was thinking of. Patterson, 0%.
No, you could have been nice and told me, but that's fine,
You were
Baz.
first pick, mate, and you picked Bowen and killed us all.
Oh, you should have done your research, shouldn't you?
I cannot believe I've not picked Bowen. I've got Kevin De Bruyne instead. What an
Ah, well,
all wrong.
Bowen's a good. Sorry, De Bruyne's pretty decent, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to do these things live and you don't research before you start recording. You get what you deserve.
No, you do. Right. Well, massive issues here.
What position have you got left, keeper?
Well, what position have I always got left?
Yeah, you're in trouble with keeper. It's awful this week.
Yeah, it's so bad. Maybe I'll do a jab and hopefully one of them will save a penalty. Oh, what a life. What a lovely little life he leads. Jesus Christ. Right. I might go Valda Massara, and he's been lurking on 5% on all season.
Valdemar
Picks up an injury.
Valdemar Imagine.
You
Oh my
moving that
God.
in? Is that your final option?
Oh no. Who's it, mate? Who have you gone for?
Right, we've gone for Ramsdale and Edison. Do you want me to pick my midfielder whilst you're looking for keepers?
No, I've written it down. Don't worry about it. For Bruggen, 2.8%.
The classic. If you're struggling, just pick for Bruggen.
Him, Leno, or Star, wasn't it? So
Yeah, it has to be all season. I'm gonna go for Damsgaard at 1.2.
Another one of your favourites.
I love Damsgaard.
I'm picking a striker, and just for Bants, I'm picking Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, 4.5. He was on the list. It was if I didn't get Undai, I was going for Vardy. And then Solanke was also up there for jokes as well.
you know what? I'm looking at my five-a-side team here. These are, as a five-a-side differential, the worst players I've ever picked.
Couldn't be as worse as mine the other week.
Your midfield's probably the best.
I mean, Schade he's not returning about 10 months.
We talked about a hat trick's coming against Man United.
Yeah, a hat trick's coming. Yeah. But I've got for Bruggen, O'Brien, Schade, Bowen, Beto.
Oh wow. At least you've got Bowen.
Yeah, first pick.
And his second pick was Bowen. Ramsdale, Diaz, Damsgaard, Kevin De Bruyne, and Undai.
I've got Edison, Patterson, Trossard, Gundogan, and Vardy.
The thing is, you started really well at the back then, Baz.
Yeah.
Trossard will play, won't he? Right, lads. We've rambled on. I've not missed anything, I don't think. So we'll call it a day there, Baz, I think. Unless I have missed anything. Have I missed something?
No, I haven't missed anything, mate.
And Baz is just going to remind us already. 3-week punts next week, lads. 3-week punts.
That's it.
I can't wait for that section when we see everyone's done on the zero on the ones.
Have we done nothing? Has anyone done anything yet, Baz?
Hey, yeah, me, O'Reilly, baby.
Get him kicking off. O'Reilly.
You picked the Brighton one, didn't you?
No.
You went for the wrong O'Reilly.
I went double Man City, I think.
Yeah, I went Fernandez, and this is the game he's delivering in. This one.
De Bruyne and Marlon, didn't I?
The Marlon was a gambling issue, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he was the first one as well. I picked Sessegnon. What am I doing?
De Bruyne is delivering. Yeah, the Sessegnon thing's going to haunt everyone, I think, isn't it? Right, lads, thanks for joining us this week. Don't forget to follow us on Football Pod, on Football P, Instagram, TikTok, and X, of course, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want to call it. FPL Affairs Facebook group. Follow Barry Stokes, the differential king, on there. See his graphics, see everything he does. And then also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast from and click the little bell icon. Scott, thanks for joining us. He's done his playing darts now. He's done. Is that you going to finish every pod now on?
Yeah. It's giving him some luck, to be fair. He's doing well. So, yeah, keep going. That's why I'm going to have a shocking week this week. And I'm probably going to go out of the cup because I'm not in my lay-by.
So, do you know, you're lucky.
You only like spinning his lay-by when it's cold. You like a challenge.
Do you know what, Baz? You have to win a trophy this season and you're into the round of 16. You've won a trophy every year. It has to happen the cup for you this year. It's 120k second chance league. You're on form. This is what happened to
Yeah,
you last time you won the cup, remember?
that's
Sometime
it.
before.
Shame I ain't done a minus 22.
Yeah, well, yeah, don't be doing that this time. That'll get you knocked out. And Baz, thanks for joining us. Get some sun cream on. And thanks everyone else. And it's goodbye from me and goodbye for now.